An update to every single one of these blocks. Another look at the insanely powerful camera command and the saddest update of 1.20. My heart, it has cracked in half and then half again. Welcome to the new update, everybody. Lads, upon first inspection, 1.20.0.23 looks to be a tiny beta, but when you look a little bit closer and dive into it, this update has actually changed so much, good and bad. Since you guys seem to be tenderly loving the preview videos lately, here we are, back at it again. Drop a like, it helps out, and let's do this. We kick off today's video, lads, with a nice, small, beautiful parody update. You see, over on Minecraft Java, when it comes to being places, you're essentially in the Wild West when it comes to the moss block. You see, over on Minecraft Java, new plant, old plant, boring plant, kind of cool, exciting plant, doesn't matter at all. If it can be planted on the plain old grass block, it could probably be planted on the moss block. Well, my friends, this is just one of the tiny, beautiful updates today, but oh, it's beautiful. Imagine yourself as you. Then imagine yourself as you living inside of a warm biome. I don't know, maybe you want to live in the desert biome for 1.20 archaeology stuff, or like the savanna biome. If you live in one of those biomes and you want to build an automatic machine of your dreams to get like a bunch of bamboo, well, you got to use grass block before, and it's kind of ugly. As of the 1.20 update, it gets closer and closer day by day here. You won't have to deal with this ugly grass color. If you want to, you can farm sugarcane and bamboo on the moss block. And speaking of 1.20, inching closer and closer every day here, when it comes to an official release date, unfortunately, sad news, friends, there is still no release date. But if we take a look at what went down last year with the Wild update that dropped right in the beginning of June, and then compare it to this year, we're perfectly on track. The Wild update release date was announced right at the end of May. There's no way to tell for sure because these are different updates here, but it definitely seems like things are going to line up this year, kind of like how they lined up last year. I would guess that a release date has got to be coming pretty soon here. And moving on, here we are. Easily, my friends. This is the second to most emotional change of this entire update. It's so good. Now, just to freshen you up, technically speaking, this is not a Minecraft 1.20 update. However, you will be able to play with this one in 1.20 if you turn on this handy little toggle right here, just like you'll be able to do with the overpowered camera command that we'll also be talking about in just a second here. And so with beautiful 1.5 block sneaking enabled in your world, you sneak under 1.5 block. Oh, it's great, but even better, look at this. Maybe you notice it right away. If you didn't notice it, you haven't messed with it enough because look, I gotta calm down about it. It's not that great, but it's also completely life-changing. You 1.5 sneak under the slab and go into third person so you can look around, taking the beauty of your beach right here, and well, you can do it. The screen isn't like that anymore. I was starting to wonder what they were doing with 1.5 sneaking. It was introduced a minute ago and not very many changes to it. Last week, if I snuck under this thing, boom, it's black. But no, this week, you could actually do it. We love to see an update to the sneaking stuff. It means it's closer to release. Unfortunately, to bring us back down, though, this thing right here, crawling, is not a thing quite yet. However, friends, that's not all bad news, because recently, some updates have happened to the swimming animation and when it's actually, like, triggered and how you can stay in it. And for those of you who don't know, because, of course, logically, crawling is the same as swimming, and over on Java, it's the same exact animation. Because apparently crawling and swimming in Minecraft are the exact same thing, and swimming animation was just updated, well, maybe crawling will eventually be included in that 1.5 sneaking toggle. Oh, it's great. What a time to be alive. This next update is a subtly large update that will change almost every single block that you interact with in the entire game. For this one, big shout out to Lily over on Twitter. Tell me, friend, inside of this update, does this look different to you? Or maybe, what about this one right here? Or perhaps that, or maybe even a classic, this thing right there, or even this thing right. This thing, they forgot to update it. Oh no, and this is where you can really see it. So the stonecutter, check out the background. The UI is whatever, but the background here is what we're looking at. Cartography table, stonecutter, clearly different shapes or whatever, but the background here. The background inside of the cartography table, the background inside of the anvil, maybe the smoke or whatever, the background has been lighter. The background of nearly every single block you can interact with in game, including old classic ones, has been lightened for whatever reason. Maybe like parody or something. The attention to detail with this one is immaculate here. I was shocked to see that they even remembered things like the dropper. However, they did forget some. The crafting table is still super dark, the loom is really dark, and the stonecutter is super dark. Also, I don't know if it's involved in this one, but the creative inventory is pretty dark too when you open a background. In fact, actually, expand that to just the whole game's inventory. When you open the inventory in survival, it's dark too. Maybe it'll change it soon though. Really is such a subtle thing, but I actually really like this. I do think that the less darkened background looks significantly better. What do you think? Our next update we'll be taking a look at today is actually found over on the Waddles channel. A big warm shout out to all of you channel members because you're absolutely amazing. Right now, I'm working on cooking up better member benefits, including extra videos. If you couldn't tell, I record a lot of videos, but actually, I don't even drop them all. I'm gonna start dropping some of that juicy, unreleased content for channel members. If you're interested, tap that join button for more. Truly, the camera command is one of the most beautiful commands to ever grace its way into Minecraft. It's so powerful. With the help of this command right here, check out what I can do. I can set this camera basically wherever I want and then move around freely and like fly right up to it. And that's like literally just the basics of it. You can do even more with it. In last week's preview video, we checked out some cool things that you could do with it, and this week we will do it again. I really thought this one was awesome. With the help of the command the Dark Creep showed off, you can set the camera like up in the air behind yourself. This thing literally looks like Minecraft Dungeons, or heck, even almost like Minecraft Legends, with that camera high up in the air following behind you in game. It's so cool. Another cool one that I saw over on Twitter is this one right here with that smooth transition into the camera mode. After that, we get this camera smoothly following behind the player. It's like a better third-person view. This looks so good. With the Dungeons one, I can see it now. You slap a resource back on the game to make it look just like Minecraft Dungeons, and you could fully recreate Minecraft Dungeons, but inside of Minecraft. This command is actually insane, guys. It's so powerful. Next up, everything is black and white because that's how I feel, my friend, and I can't help it. This is so sad. Tragic, even. Minecraft 1.20, they finally did it. I had a feeling they would. Look, I had a feeling they would do it, but I didn't want to believe it. I didn't think they could, but they have. Look, don't get me wrong. I've seen your comments and concerns. I get it. I totally do get it. It does make sense on one hand, but on the other hand, this is tragic. So you give the sniffer a little bit of time. It will find the seed, the pod, whatever. You go over and farm the thing, grow it all the way up, and then you harvest it with your hand, and you harvest the other one with your hand. And then that's it, my friend. That's it. I try to record this bit like 5 to 6 times. I'm so sad about this. This is tragic. Torch flower, and pitcher pod flower, too, even more beautifully if I walk up to it. If I walk up to it in 100% survival to show you it is legitimate. Unfortunately, reality hurts sometimes. Reality hurts a lot. If I use bone meal on either of these flowers, not just the tall one, but either of them, nothing. You get nothing at all. Look, I get it. Revive a lost ancient species from unfortunate early demise. Sure, yeah, it's cool. It's one of the biggest things in 1.20 you can't deny. You find a sniffer, bring it back to life, and then as a reward, the sniffer helps you and finds more seeds. However, this is so sad. The pitcher plant, the torch flower plant, all you could do is turn them into dyes. Well, and of course, plant them down too, but you can't bone meal them. Today, we comment F in respects to the pitcher field of my dreams that would have been so easy to make, but now, oh, it's so hard to make. This is sad. So sad. Over the past couple of weeks, in the final leg of 1.20 development, they've been focusing a lot on the trail ruin structure, another massive part of the 1.20 update. Well, my friends, what if I told you we have something great, but also a big problem with the trail ruins? We'll start with unfortunately big problem. So let's say this was my brand new survival world. I'm excited about the trail ruins. I want to find it. So I go ahead and locate it. That's where the closest one is. Next up, of course, in full survival, we make the long trek over to the trail ruins. Then, over here at the trail ruins, you tell me if you notice anything. The forest. As I pan, do a quick scan for me, fellas, and tell me if you see the tower or anything. Haha, so yeah, actually, I got you right there in 4K too. If you were looking for the tower, there is no tower. I just built a beacon here. Moving under the ground from that beacon right there, we find what I think was meant to be the tower of the trail ruins, and then the rest of the structure. So yeah, you remember how the trail ruins used to generate kind of basically fully on the surface on bedrock? People said that wasn't good. Well, they took that into account and decided to entirely bury the trail ruins. In fact, bury it to the point that you would never find it in survival. Nice. And so, after that bit of disappointment, I continued my investigative work in this beta. I moved over to another trail ruin structure that I found nearby, and well, this time you can clearly see the tip of the tower right there. You can see that one, that's good. However, if I take a step back from the mountain, what does that do to the world generation? I mean, it is kind of fire. It's kind of cool, but oh my gosh, the monstrosity. Okay, so unfortunately, I can't downgrade versions. There's no telling what is supposed to happen here with the hill. But if I had to take a guess, it probably curves that way and would curve around. As you can see, the hill is pretty smooth here. Not really like sharp generation, but oh no. Oh no. It's just about all I can say here, because what's happened is we have the trail ruins generating, goes down into the ground, and then reaches out this way. Instead of trail ruins open to the sky, like in previous betas, they put dirt around it, but that's literally all they've done. They put dirt and soda around it. It stands out so bad. Kind of ruins the terrain. But I don't know, maybe it's a one-time thing. Let's go ahead and find another one. But once we find another one and take a look at what's going on with the ground here, yikes. It's happened again. Look, I don't know what's better. Do we want trail ruins fully exposed to the surface but terrain looks good? Or do we want buried trail ruin structure with gigantic block terrain? I guess if you're playing 1.20 on Bedrock, the biggest giveaway that you have a trail ruin structure in front of you is a gigantic cube sticking straight out of the ground. Like, I don't know, you let me know what you think about it. Sometimes it does make some pretty cool terrain, like you get this sweet cave cutting through here and then a big floating square. Kind of reminded me of like beta generation or whatever, but at the same time, it sticks out so bad. And it's so obvious what's actually going on here once you know. I don't know. I'm calling it here. Unless they get this fixed by the time 1.20 drops, one of the big focuses of the 1.20 point something updates, well, that'll be fixing trail ruins generation. On the bright side, though, they fixed it. Since last week's beta, when the music disc was added, they pulled a prank just like they did with the sniffer egg for the longest time. You actually weren't able to find the disc generating in the trail ruins, but now you can. Just like how it is on Java, if you're hoping for the music disc, well, it's inside of the rare loot table, which generates a little bit more frequently the deeper you get. Next up, in what has become truly a way larger beta than I even thought at first when writing this video, oh boy, we have an update to Amethyst Resonance. Amethyst Resonance. Previously, if you wanted this stuff to work, the Amethyst block next to the Skulk sensor had to be, well, like, literally next to the Skulk sensor, on one of the sides, even with this thing. Now, my friends, check this out. You have more options than ever before. If you want to resonate the Amethyst, you could, theoretically, put the Amethyst on top of the Skulk sensor as well. But maybe you don't have room above, just below. Well, great news, friend, you can put it below as well. This is exactly how it works on Minecraft Java. To resonate the Amethyst, as long as it's touching one of the sides of the Skulk sensor, which is, I guess, debatable for this form right here, but it works. As long as you got the Amethyst in one of the blocks directly adjacent to the Skulk sensor and say, not like that or something, it'll work. Advancements from advancements. As you already know, they work completely different on Minecraft Java and Minecraft Bedrock. You see, over on Java, advancements are done on a per world basis, meaning they're tied to the specific world you're in. When you make a new world, you gotta start over. On Minecraft Bedrock, they're tied to your account. Once you get the advancement once, you're good and done. On one hand, this is cool. You could get a new skin thing. But on the other hand, you can only get them one time. Good thing there's only two 1.20 advancements. What? Yeah, so this is kind of crazy. I hope they add more advancements here. 1.20 is really massive, but we have an advancement for planting the sniffer plants and an advancement for making an archaeology pot with the sherds. And that's it. If you've been following the Java snapshot videos, then you would know that over there, we already got like 8 advancements. I hope they have more. And last but not least, today, we end things where I started this morning, the main menu. Does it look different? Here's the old version. Here's the new version with a giant hole in the drain. Whatever. Here's the old version, and here's the new one. And so as you can see here, the screen is slowly spinning in a different direction now that matches Java, and the background, well, the angle and like the rendering of the whole thing has been changed. It looks way more like Java now, even with that giant hole in the drain. Because we're only inside of the preview, that means we can't see that clean 1.20 generation screen quite yet, but I'm willing to guess that once this update drops, it'll look like pretty similar to this right here. And that'll do it. Minecraft Preview 1.20.0.23. What do you think? Did you find something else? Tell me about it down below or on the subreddit. Smash like and subscribe for more, and huge shout out to my patrons, Steve M, Skelly Womp, CK, and Michael H. You're the best. Next up, check out this one next. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.